finding that there is sufficient information for the court to make a finding of probable cause, I will do that. The next thing I'm going to do is hear from both attorneys regarding conditions of release. Then I'll make a decision and I'll explain that to you. Mr. Jackson, you may go first.
Thank you, Your Honor. The state is asking the court to set bond in the amount of $500,000. We believe the defendant is likely to commit a violent offense. The facts of this case are extremely disturbing. The defendant drove from the state of California to the state of Washington, believing that he was driving to apparently Washington, D.C. He was stating he wanted to commit suicide. He had a gun and a knife. He contacted the FBI related to some information he wanted to provide. He ended up at the Safeway parking lot in the city of Tumwater. While in the parking lot, he began to drive erratically around the parking lot. The officers attempted to use the spike strips. The officers indicated he was driving somewhere around 30 to 40 miles per hour at 6 o'clock in the afternoon in the Safeway parking lot. They had to evacuate most of the people, shut down the parking lot. As they were getting close to the defendant's vehicle, he drove over a curb directly at an officer, which caused that officer to fire 4 rounds at this defendant. After his vehicle had been spiked, he continued to drive until he was shot at. Once he was shot at, he refused to leave the vehicle. The SWAT team had to be called out to get him extricated. It took them quite some time to get him to surrender. During that period of time, he was holding a knife to his own throat, indicating he was going to kill himself and asking the police to kill him. So we believe that he is in extreme danger, both to the community and to himself. We would ask the court if he is able to post that bond. My recommendation is that the court have him return to court for conditions rather than setting conditions right now. I do have several recommendations about conditions, but some of those things should be addressed at a fuller hearing. I am asking the court to order currently that he not have any contact with Tumwater Police Officer Thompson, who's the alleged victim of the assault, and that you schedule his arraignment for August 4th, 2020 at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Mr. Cabrera?
Well, thank you, Your Honor. Obviously, from reading the documentation that's been provided to me, there's mental health care issue here. There's no prior history that I'm aware of other than a DUI, and he's on probation for that. He's got no violent offenses, no sex offenses. He is from out of state, lives with his father for over the last 10 years, as I understand it as well. The allegations, as Mr. Jackson has put it, are disturbing. They're disturbing in a way that they know they're dealing with somebody with a mental health issue, and the way to address that is to pin him in and then place yourself in a position of jeopardy so you have to fire upon somebody with mental health issues. That's the disturbing part to me in this case. I think that Mr. Diaz should be evaluated and be seen for a PR release with electronic monitoring, and have his father or a family member actually come pick him up. In the alternative, he should at least be subjected to mental health evaluation and seen by the professionals before release. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Diaz, the court rule that deals with conditions of release presumes that release is the status quo. But there's an exception to that for a couple different circumstances. One, if there is a likely commission of a violent offense or a likely failure to appear for court. I am concerned about the facts and circumstances that are described. I'm going to set bail in the amount of $100,000 cash or bond based upon my concern that there is likely commission of a violent crime if you are released on your own recognizance. I also do have concerns that you do not have ties to this particular community. I am going to set the condition as requested by the state that if you post bail, you'll return to court for further conditions. One of those conditions would likely be that you be seen by a designated crisis responder. That's to verify that you are not a threat to yourself or others. But we'll deal with those issues if that bail is posted. The court will expect as well that you have no criminal law violations, that you possess no weapons of any kind. Your next court date will be August 4th at 9 a.m. I'm going to include that in the order. I'm also going to include the phone number for Mr. Cabrera's office